It definitely feels weird saying it, but Ninjago has been around for nearly 15 years now. Can you edit a couple more hands there? That sentence is getting increasingly scarier. I mean, next year will be 16. I mean, whew. But anyway, in that time we've had lots of Ninjago content to enjoy. Mainly on the TV show side of things, consisting of the original Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu, Ninjago, and Ninjago Dragons Rising. If any of you are confused about any of that, don't worry, you're not the only ones. I'll explain the difference between all three of these shows in a different video in the future, but for now it's probably worth the Google. Or you could watch a really old video of mine, but honestly don't. Anyway, getting back on the expansive Ninjago media, they released a theatrical animated film with a live action version coming out soon. Probably not of the animated one, I'd hope. 1, maybe 2 TV movies, if you're feeling cheeky. Comics, video games, mini movies. There's probably something else, it'll be right there. However, none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for the Ninjago Pilots. In 2009, Tommy Andreasen, which Ninjago fans would know as the creator of the show, sketched out an image of 5 elemental ninjas with the word accompanying it, Spinjago. Spinjago? That's a weird name. I'm glad I got rid of that. Yes, I know. This Spinjago would be the first initial concept of a brand new theme LEGO wanted to push out in the early 2010s. And from that moment, Spinjago was born. If you call it Spinjago one more time, I'm unsubscribing. Ninjago, sorry. However, LEGO couldn't just push out a brand new theme and expect people to buy the sets. They needed some sort of promotion to go alongside it. So they got some very talented writers to come in who are currently working on a big budget LEGO movie which is set to come out in 2014, to work with Tommy Andreasen to create something really special. These 2 writers being the Hagman brothers, who would stay on to write most of the original show. And with a creative team assembled and a story pitched, the Ninjago Pilots were officially made. Oh, and a side note, I know there's a couple of people out there who may not know what a pilot is, so for you, I'm going to explain it now. A pilot episode is an episode of TV made as an example, a showcase of a potential idea for a TV show, to test the water, to see if an idea has any interest or potential for a network to pick it up for a long-running TV show. Every TV show has a pilot. Some pilots look exactly how the TV show is going to continue, while some look completely different to how the end product ended up being. But the idea is that it's just an example to show that the creative team could produce a really good TV show. And as we all know, the interest and potential in Ninjago was strong, and the pilot worked. 14, nearly 15 years later, Ninjago is still going with no sign of slowing down, all thanks to these 2 pilot episodes. You mean the 4 pilot episodes of Ninjago? What did you say? Ninjago's pilot consisted of 4 episodes at 11 minutes each. Whoa, no. They were 2 22-minute episodes. Whoa, sorry. I really didn't want to interject, but it's actually 1 23-minute episode. Wait, you guys got episodes? Mine was a TV movie. Whoa, stop! What's going on? I'll explain. Oh, thank you, kind sir. So the release of Ninjago episodes has always been a bit weird. Growing up, especially in my country, it was always a bit of a weird challenge to try and watch the new episodes of Ninjago, especially from seasons 7 to 10 for some reason. Different countries were able to get Ninjago seasons at different times, as the time slots on those specific channels were able to accommodate Ninjago's runtime. Ninjago came out in a bit of a weird time for cartoons, as they were transitioning more into the short 11-minute runtime as opposed to the 22-minute long runtime which Ninjago was using for the initial seasons. Luckily that's sorted these days, as Ninjago has set locations where it premieres for everyone everywhere at the same time. I mean, back then, it was like the Wild West out there. This is somewhat the case with the Ninjago Pilots. All 4 versions, and yes, I do mean all 4 versions, were released at different times, depending on which country you were in. For the United States in 2011, it released on January 11th, and then for Europe and the rest of the world, it released later on that month, on January 24th. And depending on what region you were in, you experienced a different edited version of the pilots. So let's get into it. Starting with the version that I think we are all most familiar with, it's the 2-episode pilot, The Way of the Ninja and King of Shadows. These 22-minute long episodes are what you usually think of as the Ninjago Pilots, on DVD and during its premiere. Both episodes were played back-to-back upon release, however with later reruns, each episode could be played individually to meet the network's time slots. And that's where our second version of the Ninjago Pilots comes in, the 4-episode version of the Ninjago Pilots, which consisted of 11-minute episodes. Essentially what they did is they split down the middle the 22-minute episodes to make 4 11-minute episodes, which made for some very interesting cliffhangers, let's just say. And by doing so, they artificially extended the number of episodes for that pilot season. And now instead of having just Way of the Ninja and King of Shadows, we now have 2 extra episode names to add to that. That being The Way of the Ninja, The Golden Weapons, King of Shadows, and Weapons of Destiny. Make me look good in the edit. The 11-minute long structure is not what the Hagman brothers initially intended when they wrote Ninjago. So like I said, at the end of an 11-minute episode, it kind of just ends. So why did they do this, especially when on most network TV, the episode that would follow it would play immediately after? Well, to put it simply, on kids' television, the 11-minute mark is the ideal place to put in adverts, so if that's naturally baked into the episode's length, ideal. And in saying that, LEGO would promote that as an option for these networks, so it means Ninjago would be played on more places. But then you may be thinking, what was the Hagman brothers' initial intention for the pilot? Was it the two 22-minute long episodes? Surprisingly not. It was our third option, It was our third option, the TV movie. The Ninjago Pilots were originally written as 4 chapters of one big TV movie which would last around 44 minutes, with the option to split down the middle into 2 22-minute long episodes. Obviously, we now know that LEGO did actually do that, but with the 22-minute long episodes, splitting them down the middle to 11-minute episodes. So whatever became of the TV movie concept? Well, in some countries it did actually air as one massive 44-minute long episode. And to a lot of people, that is what the Ninjago Pilots are to them. One big movie. I know that personally, my DVD played them all front to back like it was a giant movie. And then the chapter selects on the DVD would be the individual episodes. So this DVD release is more in line with what the Hagman brothers intended when they wrote Ninjago. And now moving on to the final and quite possibly most baffling version of the Ninjago Pilots. The 1 episode, 23 minutes long version which aired in Japan. This was a highly edited version of the pilots consisting of those 4 episodes smashed down into one small package, meaning that a lot of scenes got cut. I'm not cultured in Japan's culture enough to know why this was done. I'm not entirely sure how their TV works over there. I presume that it was probably the best way for them to appeal to that demographic, which would have been a strong demographic to appeal to, as we all know Ninjago is loosely based off Chinese and Japanese culture. I believe that later releases in Japan restored the pilots back to the 2-episode, 22-minute long runtime. However, for many years, this 23-minute long pilot is all that Japan had. And I've looked everywhere to try and find a version of this, but no one seems to have posted it online. If you do know where to find it, let me know. So there you have it, the confusing history of the Ninjago Pilots and the weirdly edited versions that we got. Let me know in the comments down below which version of the pilots that you personally saw. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video or if you found it informative. The support is always appreciated. Thank you. However, my friends, I'm afraid that is the end of the video, but I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello. I just wanted to give a massive, thank you for the amount of support that I've been getting on these 2 videos. They've got more views than anything I've done on YouTube in the past 4 years. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you so much for subscribing. I was going to do a 300 subscriber special like I did for 100 and 200, but honestly, we're already nearly at 400, which is insane. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you enjoy the many videos. I'm going to put so much effort into these videos, and I really hope you enjoy. I have nothing else to say, but just a massive thank you. So, thank you. Do I see my dog? Look, Albie, you're on the internet.